So I wanted to get back into the regimen of talking about Burst and everything that's happening with that company. Took a little bit of a break because of COVID over the last 6 months, and because the details were solidifying with Burst, I didn't want to talk about it a little bit prematurely. But now that we've got books on the way, now that there's an app that's about to be finished, at least the alpha version of the app, wanted to really start to document the journey of how it's been happening with Burst, what it is, what the specifics of building it have been, the discussions, the debates, the choices that I think are going to affect building a big company, hopefully, and documenting that process, I think is going to be an amazing journey. One of the first choices to be made is what's happening with Media Day, right? Media Day is the existing company and have been building it for the last 6 years. What's happening to it? Is it going to go away? Is it going to in some way be compromised or changed from its mission? And yeah, it is a big decision point. But no, Media Day is not going to go away anywhere. Media Day is very much a centerpiece of the success story, hopefully, that Burst is going to represent. And the reason for that is because the success story that Burst will have to live out cannot take place without a marketing company, right? A marketing effort, because nobody knows about it. Biggest process that's going to have to take place, there's many, but one of the biggest, alongside producing the product, alongside building the team, et cetera, all the usual business things. But one of the biggest aspects of the process is going to be acquiring families and clients and building the clientele that Burst is going to then serve. And how do you do that? How do you build a clientele? How do you tell people about us? You need an amazing and very, very big marketing effort. So, long story short, instead of trying to build, first of all, hiring is impossible. Hiring a marketing company is not possible. So instead of trying to build a marketing department, the real and obvious answer is going to be Media Day, right? So Media Day is going to be the marketing arm, or at least a prioritized vendor of marketing for Burst. And it may then become that way the number one client of Media Day, right? Being the biggest client in that quiver of clients. So at least that seems to be the right ways. You have both companies going, and both keep their missions independent and distinct, but they work together and they earn money. One of them earns money by serving the other. So I'm going to continue to run both. Both are going to stay. Most likely it's going to be a C Corp. Right now Media Day is an LLC, and a lot of debates have been had about what corporate structure it should take. I really wanted to take an LLC structure for Burst, but just because sharing, really losing equity and losing control is one of my biggest anxieties. And maybe I can talk about that especially, but basically losing control and diluting the mission of Burst is one of my biggest anxieties. And that's what almost every company, corporation has done. So wasn't interested in that, wasn't interested in the equity process that led to that. So just was happy with the LLC model that has worked so well with Media Day. That being said, we may get a lot of value from the flexibility that equity shares give you in terms of recruitment of staff, in terms of motivating the early team, in terms of creating flexibility with if there's going to be multiple co-founders, for example, or multiple people that are helping to build a company. Thank you. So having flexibility is going to be really, really key. The only downside to flexibility is going to be if the loss of equity is going to lead to loss of control. So for that, for me, that means I'll just have to have a really tight watch on how equity gets distributed, so that the worst doesn't happen to it. But more than likely, C Corp is going to be the way forward, although S Corp possibly, although I haven't looked into it enough to be conversant with the nuances, other than it's not really great for equity sharing type models. It's more of like a beefed up LLC. So if we go the equity sharing route, it's going to have to be a C Corp, a regular standard corporation.